A high school game here in Cleveland has attracted a crowd of 10,000 here tonight, but it's not just any high school game. It's phenom LeBron James against the #1 ranked team in the country, Oak Hill. LeBron Mania goes national here tonight.
In 2003, a 17-year-old kid from Akron, Ohio, was being called the next Michael Jordan before he played a single NBA game. And the experts? They were not buying it. Scouts, analysts, journalists, people paid to evaluate talent, publicly said the hype around LeBron James was dangerous, overblown, and setting him up to fail. We found the quotes, the exact words, said on camera, in print, and on the record, before LeBron went on to win 4 championships, 4 MVPs, and become the most argued GOAT in basketball history. In this video, we are going through every single take, who said it, exactly what they said, and what they were saying years later, when LeBron had already changed the game forever. Stay until the end, because the last analyst on this list never fully admitted he was wrong. And what he said instead is somehow even worse. To understand why the doubts existed, you have to understand what the NBA looked like in 2003. The league was built around big men. Shaquille O'Neal was the most dominant force in the game. Tim Duncan had just won his second championship with the Spurs. The idea that a skinny 18-year-old, no matter how gifted, could walk in and carry a franchise felt like a fantasy. And history gave analysts reason to be cautious: the draft. 2 years before LeBron's produced players like Kwame Brown, the #1 pick in 2001, who never came close to living up to his hype. Analysts had been burned before by can't-miss prospects. So when a teenager from a small city in Ohio was being compared to Michael Jordan, a lot of people pushed back hard. That context matters, because it means the people who doubted LeBron weren't stupid. They were using history as their guide. They just had no framework for what LeBron actually was. Nobody did, but not everyone was skeptical. Before LeBron was drafted, a small group of people who watched him up close came away saying something different entirely. An Eastern Conference general manager, speaking anonymously to ESPN senior writer Mark Stein before the draft, said, "I'm very careful about dishing out too much praise for these young kids coming out of school because I know it's going to be an adjustment, no matter how good they are. But this kid looks like he could come in and play right away without missing a beat." LeBron is a phenomenal talent, probably the best I've ever seen coming out of high school. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, who held the #1 pick in 2003, did not hesitate for a single second. No debate in the war room. They knew. The question wasn't whether LeBron would be great. It was whether he would be the greatest. The first category of doubters weren't saying LeBron was bad. They were saying the hype itself was the problem. Sports Illustrated had already put LeBron on their cover in February 2002 when he was just a 17-year-old junior in high school, with the headline, "The Chosen One." He hadn't played a single NBA game. He was still in high school. The writer behind that story, Grant Wall, later admitted he was worried himself. He said, "I was worried that we were going to ruin the kid's life by putting him on the cover. When you put a young kid on the cover and proclaim him the chosen one, the pressure would get a lot higher." And he was right that the pressure exploded. LeBron later said the cover pushed him onto the national stage, whether he was ready for it or not. Agents, reporters, sneaker reps became a circus. His team even lost the state championship that year, the only high school title LeBron never won. So the argument at the time was this: you don't crown someone the next Jordan before they play a professional minute. You are writing the script for a very public failure. LeBron won Rookie of the Year in 2004, was an all-star by his second season. The hype didn't break him. He outgrew it. The second group of doubters had a more specific concern. Where exactly does LeBron James play in the NBA? At 6'9" and 250 pounds coming out of high school, LeBron was bigger than most shooting guards, and some argued not polished enough in the post to be a traditional small forward, in an NBA still dominated by low-post big men. Several analysts questioned whether he had a true defined position. And in 2003, not having a defined position meant not having a defined role. The concern was real and logical. Great athletes without defined positions, the thinking went, become good role players, not franchise cornerstones. What LeBron did was make the question irrelevant. He didn't fit a position. He redefined what a position could be. By the time he reached Miami, he was playing point guard, small forward, and power forward in the same possession. The analysts who said he had no position were right. They just didn't understand. That was his superpower, not his weakness. Now we get to the take that aged the worst. And this one came from someone who should have known better. Skip Bayless, back when he was still at ESPN, became one of the loudest voices questioning whether LeBron could ever be the greatest. His argument, repeated across dozens of television segments and articles, was that LeBron's mentality in big moments was fundamentally flawed. He coined the phrase, "no clutch gene," for LeBron, arguing that LeBron shied away from the final shot when it mattered most. He wrote it in ESPN columns. He said it on First Take. He called LeBron, and I quote, "the mentally weakest superstar we've ever seen," after LeBron's performance in the 2011 finals against Dallas, when LeBron scored 0 points in clutch time across multiple games. And Bayless didn't say this quietly, or once. He built a career on it. For years. On national television, LeBron James hit some of the biggest shots in NBA Finals history. He delivered a chase-down block on Andre Iguodala in Game 7 of the 2016 Finals, pinning Iguodala's layup against the backboard with the score tied at 89, with under 2 minutes remaining. The Cavaliers went on to win 93-89. Kevin Durant called it Batman coming out of nowhere. LeBron himself called it the defining moment of his career. Cleveland came back from 3 games to 1 down to win that series. The first time in NBA Finals history a team had ever done that. LeBron delivered a championship to a city that had not won a major sports title in over 50 years. Now here's what I promised you at the start. The analyst, who never fully admitted he was wrong. Most people on this list, when LeBron proved them wrong, updated their position. That is what honest people do when the evidence changes. But Skip Bayless did something different. As LeBron compiled one of the greatest resumes in NBA history, 4 titles, 4 MVPs, the NBA's all-time scoring record, Bayless kept moving the goalposts. The clutch gene argument, the fourth quarter stats. The teams were too talented. There was always a reason what LeBron just did didn't count. Even after LeBron passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, Bayless acknowledged LeBron's fitness and longevity, but said, and I quote, "Fourth quarter, I don't want the ball in his hands. He has been a liability in playoff fourth quarters for the most part, and I can prove it." That tells you more about the nature of expert opinion than any single wrong take ever could. Being wrong isn't as human. Refusing to update when the evidence is overwhelming, that is something else entirely. LeBron James is now the NBA's all-time leading scorer. 4 championships across 3 different franchises. 4 MVPs. The argument about whether he belongs in the GOAT conversation isn't really an argument anymore. It's just a preference. But back in 2003, the people whose job it was to evaluate talent looked at him and saw risk. And that is the most interesting thing about this whole story, not that they were wrong, but that being wrong about LeBron James required ignoring what was right in front of them. What do you think? Were the doubters understandable given the era? Or should the talent have been obvious from day one? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe. Next video, we are doing the same thing for Kobe Bryant before the 1996 draft. The takes from that era are even wilder. You do not want to miss it.